Hello, I'm Cleopatra Wallace, and this video is all about making perfume. So, earlier today while I was outside, I went back to the rose garden and I got a whole Ziploc bag full of rose petals. I stopped and smelled every single bush they had there, so I can only get the most fragrancy ones. And I didn't molest the rose bushes. I picked the petals off the ground underneath them, or the ones that were about to fall. Alright, so you see I have a whole bowl of rose petals. They smell amazing. Alright, so I'm going to start the process by just kind of picking through them a little bit and making sure there's no dirt left in them, because like I said, I did get a lot of them from the ground. Alright, see? And it is quite a bit here. Alright. Now it shouldn't be too much debris in here because I took my time when I was picking them up. I wasn't just scooping them up, I actually was picking them up one at a time. It took me an hour and a half to get all of these rose petals. But it's going to be worth it because we're going to make a bottle of perfume. Alright. They are looking good. They are smelling good. And I have all different kinds. All together, I would say this is about 12 different kinds of roses. You know, they got the hybrids over there. Then they have the traditional roses. Alright, so yeah, it wasn't really nothing in here. Too much dirt wasn't in there. Just a few little twigs on the bottom. And the reason why you do this is because, you know, it's perfume, so you're gonna spray it on yourself after you take a shower or when you're getting dressed, so you don't want any dirt to be in there. Alright, so now we're gonna put the petals back inside the bowl. Alright. Okay, so we have all the roses back in the bowl. These are just petals, no stems. Alright, so the first step is we're going to need to get the alcohol. I could have swore I brought that over here with me, but be right back. Okay, I'm back and I went and got the alcohol. So this is isopropyl alcohol. So we're just going to put the spray. You could, if you have the kind that just pours in, feel free to just pour it in. Well, what you want to do is make sure you get all of them wet, because we're gonna start to grind them up. And make sure you get all of them nice and wet. Alright. Gonna need something to kind of grind them with. A pedestal, pedestal, but I don't have a pedestal right now. I'm gonna use the end of the makeup brush. Alright, now so it's starting to get smushy in there. Alright, get them down. Some more alcohol. Because the trick with the alcohol is we're using the alcohol to get the fragrance out of them. We're going to do this quick before it evaporates. Alright, hold on. Put the top on it for a moment. Get something else to break it up with. Okay. So I'm going to use a knife and fork to break this up, because I don't want to use my hands. Alright, so let's just break it up a little bit. because we want them to be able to get all completely submerged. And also breaking up the petals helps the smell comes out. It's like the same idea, like if you're cutting the grass, you can smell the cut grass smell because you've you've broken the membranes of the plants. All right. And you can smell how strong it is now, even though we're in the beginning processes of it. I can imagine this is what like ancient perfume makers went through when they were making their fragrance. Except for they probably searched all over the Mediterranean for their flowers. They didn't have them all in one place like I do. Alright, so we got them broken up. Now, this is an important part because now we're about to try to extract the fragrance. You also are going to need a little bit of water as well. Hold on, let me grab some water. Okay, so let's add a little bit of water, just some spring water, Poland spring water, just a little bit. That was probably about 4 tablespoons of water. Some more with the alcohol, because we're trying to encourage the fragrance to come out. All right, let's grind it up a little more. And I am going to let this sit in here for, as they would call, steeping. I'm going to let it steep for about 30 minutes. As you can see, they have, they started to get smaller, which is good because we're going to squeeze the fragrance out of them after they steep. All right. Oh, that smells good. Everything smells so good. All right, so just a little bit more alcohol. A little bit more water. All right. So we are wanting the alcohol to draw the fragrance out, and then the water will help it stay in liquid form without evaporating before we can get it in a bottle. All right. So, a few more squirts. All right, put the top on it. We don't heat it up or anything like that. Just let it kind of marinate for a moment. So we're going to let it sit like this for 30 minutes and then we'll be back. All right, and we're back. It has been 30 minutes. And so for the first 15 minutes, I let it sit here by just like it is now on the desk. But then for the last 15 minutes, I let it be in the oven on 200 that was preheated. So it actually was in the oven on 200 for about 10 minutes. And then I brought it back out to let it cool for about 5+ minutes. So it has been 30 minutes, but 10 of them were in the oven. And you want to wait because you don't want to take the top off while the steam is there because you lose all your fragrance. So it's been a time, and while it was cooking, I went ahead and got a mason jar because that's what we're going to strain it into. And I have a strainer. All right, but before we do that, let's get a look at how it is. All right. Ooh. Oh yeah, it definitely looks like cabbage. See that there? When you see the brown liquid, that's the perfume. All right, so let's strain it. We're also gonna smush it with the fork. It didn't seem like we were putting that much alcohol in it when we were squirting it, but it's in there because we wanted all of the rose petals to be able to be covered after they were cut up. Alright, let's get them all in there. Every petal counts. Alright. We got just about all of it. We can use our hands to smush it to where it, trying to control which holes it goes out of. Alright. And it is a good bit of perfume here. Now if you want, you could boil it a little bit to boil some of the alcohol off of it. Alright. Trying to get as much of it as I can. Alright, it's still a little bit more in there that I can squeeze out, but for the sake of the video, I'm going to move on. Alright, so we're going to put this down and out of the way. Okay, so now that we have a good bit of perfume right there, and oh, it is strong. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is we want to add some additives to it. Alright, now one of the first additives we're going to add to it is we're going to use some essential oil that I went and picked up from Walmart earlier today after I left the rose garden. And this one is the refreshed smell, and it has spearmint, geranium, clove, marjoram, grapefruit, sweet orange, and lemon in it. And I did take 30 minutes to smell every one they had. And I went with this one. So let's open it up now. Alright, now we're only going to put 3 drops of this in here because you don't want this smell to overpower the roses. So count them. 1, 2, 3. Alright. Alright, and you can see the oil in there. You know how oil does on water. You can see it on the top of the water. Okay. So, now that we have a little bit of essential oil in there, we're going to also use 2 drops of vanilla extract because I really like vanilla. So 2 drops, count them. 1, 2. Alright. And last thing that we're going to add to our mix is Florida water. Now this one you really want to be sure to only do 3 drops because like I said, we're not wanting to overpower our rose smell. We're just wanting to add accent smells. So we're going to do 3 drops of this one, and to make sure you don't overdo it, pour the drops over into a cap. Because how easy is it to accidentally drip the whole bottle in there? So 3 drops, count them. 1, 2, 3. Alright. Just one more. 4. Alright. So, let's shake it up. And it is pretty dark. So I definitely wouldn't suggest spraying this on your clothes. You know how you just mist it and walk into the mist? Don't walk into the mist. This is the type of perfume that goes on your wrists or behind your ears. And let's smell it. Oh, that is incredible. All right. Now I still have some from last year that I made with yellow roses. This is last year's batch. It takes a long time to use. But you can buy these little containers. The beauty supply has them. They're usually like 50 cents or $1. And it's just a little roll-on applicator. Alright, again, I am Cleopatra Wallace. If you found this video interesting, give it a thumbs up or subscribe to my channel because who knows what's going to happen next.